Okay, hi everybody. Hello, hi, yay. Okay, hi guys, welcome. Hi. I know I said that so many times. Okay, so again, we're here to talk about the partner program, what that is, where it came from, why we're doing it, as well as the volunteer opportunities that are hosted in the Discord, what those are, what to expect from them, some good practices to maybe look out for. Again, if you have questions about either the partner program or the volunteer or really anything in general, just put it in chat at any time. Otherwise, I will kind of just start with the history of the partner program. A little bit of an introduction to me, if you don't know me, is hi everybody. I am Ayla. I am the creative director and founder of Cave Bear Games, this here Discord server. Hopefully you already know all that. But if you don't, I'll kind of give you the little bit of a background of how Cave Bear came to be and why we have this Discord and why it exists. So 2 years ago, I was a teacher, a high school English teacher. You know, it was fine. Didn't love it. It was hard work. It's difficult. Something I could do, but something I didn't love. And one day it kind of just realized, it clicked in my brain that I could do game writing. And so without doing any research at all, which is very typical of me, I decided to jump into the game industry, quit my job, and try to get a job writing for games. After I had quit my job, and after I had joined the industry socially, I realized, obviously, as many of you know, that I would not be able to find a job in games anytime soon because I had no experience in games. I'm sure you're all familiar with that. I was a junior and a brand new junior at that. So I just pretty much had, exactly, the industry is rough. I didn't do any research at all, did not know the state of the industry. So kind of jumped into it without realizing anything. And very quickly learned, obviously, I would not be able to find a job, but I also learned a couple other things. I learned that networking is really, really important. Thankfully, I appear to be really rather decent at LinkedIn. But also that there are a lot of people like me out there, juniors, struggling to find jobs. And as I started networking and I started talking to recruiters and industry people and also, you know, looking at jobs and looking at job postings and talking to hiring managers and doing interviews, they all wanted to see something that I had done and accomplished, finished. They wanted to see a published game. So one day I had a game idea, realized I couldn't do it alone, and thought it was a good idea. So I started putting together a small team of people that I had just met, networked with throughout the industry so far, and we formed a core team. We came up with the name Cave Bear Games, and we announced our existence onto LinkedIn through our company page. We said that we are a studio buy-in for juniors in the game industry because our entire team was comprised of juniors, you know, and the state of the industry was rough. So that post went viral on LinkedIn. That was over a year ago now. Josh, I don't know if someone can respond to Josh in the comments, that would be great. And also tell me that you can indeed hear and see me. Technical issues are always really rough. So we went viral on LinkedIn for being a studio buy-in for juniors in the industry. I think that really related to a lot of us juniors. My camera's not showing? Oh my gosh, everyone is freaking me out. Okay, you can hear and see me for the most part. You should be able to hear and see me. Okay. Anyway, great. Thank you. We went viral, right? A lot of people resonated with the fact that we were juniors, and I learned several things from that. I learned that we were not the only indie studio out there trying to make a published game in order to prove our experience. There were many other indie studios like that. Like Ruby Shark, Kyle in our chat was one of our very first, I think he actually was the very first studio that I invited into the Discord. Hi, Kyle, through Nathan. And then two, when we went viral, all of a sudden I had a Discord full of over 800 people who wanted to volunteer on my project. Obviously, I did not have 800 positions to fill. So I invited people like Ruby Shark, other unfunded indie studios to join the Discord and recruit their team members from that now growing pool of volunteers that had accumulated in the Discord. And I do believe Ruby Shark was, I think, the very first one. That I invited in. That was very, very successful. So can you close that door, please? Sorry, husbands, am I right? I that was very successful, the recruitment from these other indie studios, and it seemed really needed and wanted, and so I just made it official. I turned it into the partner program, and now over a year later, we have over 100 studios. Yes, this is actually being recorded, assuming I did nothing wrong on my end. It is being recorded. I will put it somewhere when it's done, and I will let you guys know on the Discord. So yes, thank you, Kyle. If you could maybe type that in the chat for me so that the people who can't hear or see me can know that would be sick. Thank you. Thank you. So yes, that was really successful. And so the partner program now has grown to over 100. I put a post out on LinkedIn last week or the week before, which was one of the only, I think only one or two times I've ever really posted about this on LinkedIn. It's mainly just word of mouth of people learning who I am through you guys, through the partner program, through the people in the Discord. So thank you for spreading the word on us. We have over 100 studios now. Over 30 applications have been put in 2 days after that post the other week. And that's so weird, Josh. I don't know what's happening in the chat, but this will be recorded at least. And we have over 2,800 of you in this Discord who have tagged yourselves with the opportunity role as saying, hey, I would be willing to volunteer at an indie studio in the program, which is a huge number. So thank you. Yeah, actually, so many more volunteers than there are studios. So I really am trying to expand the number of studios in the program so that we can get more opportunities out to you, so more of you can join these indie studios and gain that experience that you're looking for. So hopefully, I would love to hear your guys's experience with the server. I'm seeing in chat, I'm seeing colors of roles. So I'm seeing mentor roles. Kyle, do you have the right? Kyle, you should have the correct role. You don't even have the partner studio role. Okay, Kyle, I just gave you the partner studio role because you guys are literally in the server. I think Nathan has it, but you don't, I guess. So now you have access to the channels that you should have access to. Yeah, so I'm seeing a lot of industry people, obviously, in the chat. But if you are someone who is also a volunteer, if you have good things to say about the processes that you've been involved in, please let me know. If you have bad things to say about the processes, please also let me know. Either DM me directly, or we have a fancy new channel in this category where we're at right now called Inbox. It's just a ticket system. You can just ticket me, and I will reply at some point. So, you know, good and bad things I want to hear. I want to hear all the feedback. Obviously, we are all game devs here, I think. So we know the importance of feedback, and I take it very seriously, and I take the volunteer experience very seriously. While I try my best with the partner program to educate the partners and make sure that they know how to be effective and sustainable leaders, it's a slow moving process, and we do have a lot of newer studios and just a variety of studios. And I just want to make sure that the volunteers are taken care of. And so if you don't feel like you are, please let me know, and I can further educate those studios. But yeah, so really I'm here to answer your questions about the partner program if you're a studio who wants to join, or if you are a volunteer and you don't know how the volunteer opportunity system works, or you're worried about some things, like, please let me know. Please send your questions. Yeah, the partner program has changed a little bit with that new post, so we've expanded who we accept, but also, you know, we've started to do more projects and more events and stuff. How do you apply? What are the requirements, commitments to be a partner studio? Perfect. Great question. So to apply for the partner program, it's pretty easy. You go on our website, kbeargames.com, you click the partner studio tab, and it's right there. There's a little button that says become a partner. You have lots of questions. Get them in there. I will answer them. So that's to apply. There's an application, pretty simple application, just information about your studio. The studios that we accept are unfunded or self-funded studios. So what this means is you are not beholden to investors or publishers or shareholders at the time of application. Once you are accepted into the program, I'm not going to tell you how to run your business. You can apply for partnerships and investors and publishers all you want and get those. I do not care. It's just at the time of application, I want to support currently unfunded or self-funded studios. And so self-funded can mean a lot of things too. Either you are personally wealthy and you have your own, you know, bank account that you are funding your team with and your project with. You have crowdfunded successfully, or you have gotten grants from the government. that is self-funded. So if you kind of fit that, and there's always a discussion to be had too. So if you're like, well, I don't know if I'm fully qualified for this or not, like apply, we will have a conversation. And so that's kind of like the pipeline that someone asked about. What does the pipeline look like after applying? It's pretty simple. So you apply, I see the application, assuming you appear to meet the general criteria, I will send you an email with a calendar link to schedule, and then we will have a chat for 30 minutes about your studio, your game, about the partner program, about me, and make sure that you do fully qualify. And then you're accepted or rejected. But I actually did reject someone today because it did turn out that they had investors, however small, private investors. But that is not, they didn't qualify right now, right? But also, that we only currently accept established teams of at least 2. So I'm really, really sorry, solo developers. You do not qualify at this moment. The reason for that is I just don't have a system set up for solo devs at the moment. And I want to be able to support you guys properly. And I don't know how to do that yet. So if you have, suggestions on that, please, head to that inbox channel already or DM me. I would love to know. I am actively at this moment trying to think of ways to incorporate solo devs who either want to expand using our volunteer opportunities channel or who do not want to expand. I just haven't figured it out yet. So if you have suggestions, please let me know. This whole community started off as a way to find team members. So with solo devs, especially ones who are not looking to expand, that kind of doesn't fit the original purpose, but I want to expand to solo devs. So I am trying to figure it out. If you are a solo dev and you don't have any suggestions, but you do want to join the partner program, please apply. You will get a rejection email right now, but I will have you on file and I will be going through all of the applications, all of the solo dev applications again, once I have implemented that system, and I will be reaching out to you. So can you guys still hear me? Oh my God. Now people, okay, good. God, this is terrible. Everyone's like, I can hear you, I can't hear you, I can see you, I can't see you. And it's just changing every second. I am recording this, so let's just pray to God that Ayla sounds great. Thank you, Irving. Let's just hope that the recording is good. Okay, so there were a lot of questions. Let me scroll up. So the commitments to be a partner studio, there really aren't any, right? We do have a code of conduct, which might be news to some of the partners who are in here now, as I just made it since we are growing bigger and we're getting more attention. I just made the code of conduct last week. I did post it in the official resources channel for the partners if you want to go look at it. I will be emailing the partners all this week to make them aware of the code of conduct, to make sure that they are aware of it, they're following it. So, we're making more attempts to be structured and organized and more official, right? So that everyone can be safe and happy and, get use out of the program. So, obviously we want you to be a good person, but there aren't any commitments. Obviously, I'm not requiring a membership fee, or anything, or money at all. I don't require anything of you, but I do hope that the partners do things. For one, if you qualify for and you have volunteer positions, I would love for the partners to advertise them in the channels, because like I said, we have over 2,800 volunteers. I want to be providing opportunities for those people. So please bring them here. If you bring them to LinkedIn or anywhere else, please bring them also here. But also, we have a private chat. The partners have a private chat. So if you could be active in that private chat, that would be sick. I don't require it. I know it's a really big ask to ask someone to add another Discord server to their roster of activity. But I do hope that you can be active. Thankfully, we do have a very active community already. So you would just be adding to that. That would be great. And then finally, as partners, I email you guys sometimes. And those emails ask things from you, usually in the form of surveys, so that I can gather some information for projects and just see what you guys need. And so I hope that you read those emails and I hope that you take those surveys. But that's kind of it for the commitments. Yeah. Okay. More questions. Personally, just looking for more ways to get involved. Ruby Shark was started with the intent of helping upskill and give good projects to people looking to get into games. I want to help outside of that as well. Kyle, we should chat. I do want to do more stuff like that. I want to do more stuff for the partner specific events to help them figure out how to run their business development or leadership. But I also want to be able to help the volunteers here in the server as well. So if you are a volunteer, whether you are part of a studio in the partner program or not, I would love to know what kind of things would help you. What are you looking for? So again, that that inbox channel is your friend. And it's a nice organized way for me to keep all your requests in one spot. Whereas while you can DM me, it's just really messy and I will lose stuff. So if you just put it in the inbox, it's just a lot more organized for me. So Kyle, we should chat. We should just have a chat for sure. Okay. What does the pipeline look like after applying? Already answered that. There's a meeting. Is the partner program okay for studios that aren't really sure what they're doing? Making a studio is kind of sudden, overwhelming thing for us. And while we do want to continue, we have no business knowledge. Yes. So that's a common problem that a lot of the studios have. You are not alone there. I myself have no business knowledge and I'm kind of doing this all for the first time, right? So there's a lot of studios like that in the program. There's also a lot of studios who have done this before. We have 3-time founders. We have 20+ year game veterans. We have people who do know business stuff. And I'm also working with people who know business stuff in order to create resources that will be easier for you. For example, very recently, I partnered with the Video Game Bar Association and with a team of lawyers, and they are going to help me figure out a way to make contracts more accessible to those of us in the partner program, because contracts are really, really important for both the studio and for the volunteer. But they're really inaccessible, right? Because they're really expensive and lawyers are really expensive. So I'm hoping that we'll do stuff like that to make the business side easier and more understandable alongside the development side. So yes, these pink teeth, you should definitely apply. We can have a chat about your specific issues. And also just the community itself, right? Like I said, the private chat of partners is fantastic to ask those kinds of questions with. So yeah, I would definitely apply. Okay. We'd like to know the why behind this requirement for entry. Studios must not currently be owned or financially controlled by external investors, publishers, or shareholders at the time of application. Yeah, it's just because the community started as for unfunded studios. We have now expanded to self-funded studios, but previously we didn't accept self-funded. We only accepted studios with no money at all and who were not paying their people at all, whether they were looking for funding or not. And that's just because that's how Cave Bear started. It's what I know. Cave Bear is unfunded. I did not even pursue funding for this project, so I don't even know how to pursue funding. It's not something that I have learned how to do yet. And so I just kind of stuck with what I knew, and now we're evolving slowly. And so now I want to expand to self-funded people, people who've either privately have their own wealth or have crowdfunded successfully, because I want to be able to talk to them about, hey, how did you do that? Because that's kind of my goal. Like, I would love to remain independent forever. And I think a lot of the partners in the program, while they are looking for funding, because funding is how the game industry currently works, I think a lot of us would love to know how to remain independent if at all possible. And I think that has more recently become kind of the overall goal of the partner program. We started with no goal at all except to help people find team members and for people to find teams. But, now we're kind of solidifying our views and stuff. And I think a big goal of the partner program is to help studios remain independent. And so for the time being, and things can change anytime, for the time being, at the time of application, studios cannot be financially controlled by external investors, publishers, or shareholders. They can, I'm not going to tell you how to run your business after the fact, after you join the program. But mainly it's because I think studios that do have shareholders have a lot more supports already in place just by having access to that money than studios that are unfunded or self-funded. And so I want to be a space in a community that helps those who don't have as many resources, right? Like if you are funded or you have publishers, like you have contracts already, you have access to that. That's really easy for you, I assume. But for unfunded or self-funded, that can be a little bit harder. So I want to focus our resources on them for now. Yeah. Okay. I think knowledge share could always be a part of the partner program, not just talent sharing. Absolutely. And that's what the community itself, the private chat that we have for the partner programs, how it works. It's knowledge sharing. It's experience sharing for sure. Okay. Solo dev here, looking to expand, looking for a second person in my local network, but love to have a way to find one here too. Yeah, Noah, see, you're not the only solo dev to want to be a part of the partner program. You know, if you are not in the partner program, we currently do not allow anyone to recruit within the Discord server. And so I know that completely cuts out the solo devs who are looking to expand. I would love to chat with you, Noah, and know more about what your needs are. And I do want to figure out a way to incorporate solo devs and have a system to support you. I just don't know it yet. Okay. Do we have to represent ourselves as a partner studio on the website to join? I'm not sure I understand the question. Do we have to represent ourselves as a partner studio on the website to join? Let me scroll down and see if you can answer that, because I'm not totally sure what that means. Until then, I will scroll back up and look at more questions. Would there be a way to do a meet and greet of the different creative disciplines of the volunteers? Like where you want to get together other artists who are volunteers in the server and just meet with the artists specifically? Yeah, sure. I don't see why not. And the thing is, I'm currently doing this all by myself, and I'm also running a development studio at the same time. I'm also moving to New Zealand, as you can see by packing things. So I have a lot going on. So if you have an idea for an event or something, hit up that inbox channel. Let me know. We can work together, and I can get this. Just let you run it. So if you want to get a group of narrative designers together and have a little chat event in the server, like let me know. I'm totally down to help you do that. Did E answer my question? They did not. Okay. Scrolling back up. How is this being monetized? Are there any plans to monetize the partner studio program in the future? What might those plans entail? It's not currently monetized. I'm not making any money off this. I'm not asking for any money. My whole thing is kind of the no money. So monetize is a hard word. I don't want to ever charge the partners for anything. I'm going to do my best to definitely not do that, but I also don't want to charge the volunteers for anything either. I don't know. I would love to be able to do events, like big convention, like online events. Those cost money. Just for like, if you pick a platform, it costs money if you want more than 100 people on it, right? Like even Discord Nitro, if we want more than 100 people in this server at one time, in this chat at one time, we need like Discord Nitro, right? So things cost money. So I know I will need money if I want to do bigger things like that. But I'm hoping, and I'm not a business person, so I don't know how things work. I'm hoping I can get that money through grants, like through governments, or just like donations, like sponsorships from other companies. I don't want to charge you guys money, right? I want to keep that free. I mean, the whole thing is like my whole audience, the volunteers, the partners, they're people with no money, right? They're unfunded, or they're looking for a job, right? So I don't want to charge people with no money like myself money, right? So that's kind of where I'm at right now. But I don't know how it's going to go. Are there any standardizations, expectations for how volunteers should be credited, or is it more based on individual partners' discretion? Yeah, great question. So no, there is no standardizations, expectations. I'm not requiring anything of the partners. I have a saying that I say to every partner that I'm not going to tell you how to run your business. That's just not my job. But I do have things that I support and I promote. And I think when it comes to the volunteers, I think I will be enacting some more requirements for the partners. I think really like everyone should be credited, right? If you work on the game, you should be credited. I think I might make that like a requirement. Right now, it's just an expectation. It's like everyone in the partner program, I believe, understands and agrees and thinks that everyone should be credited as well. So yeah, everyone should be credited. But if you're a volunteer, that's a question you need to be asking the studios that you apply to. Hey, what is the compensation for this? Like, I understand it's a volunteer position, but what does that mean? Will I be credited for my time? Is there a contract that I need to sign? What does that contract say? Is there rev share? A lot of the studios in the partner program do rev share. So what does that rev share contract look like? If there are no contracts, like, how are they protecting you? Because again, contracts can have a high barrier to entry, and those can be difficult for some people to get. So it's definitely a question that you should be asking the studios that you apply to. Again, if you don't feel like you are being properly credited in a game that you are working with a partner studio, let me know, reach out. I want to know and want to work with this stuff, work on this stuff with you guys. Again, I take the volunteer experience very serious. And yeah, at the very least, everyone should be credited on the game. Okay. Are there currently opportunities to connect with investors to the K-Bear Games Partner Studio program? No, they're not. If so, does K-Bear Games take a cut investor deals? It sets up with no. Well, no, I currently don't have investor connections. I did want to get investor connections. I'm not totally saying I don't want to do that anymore, but now with, like I said earlier, where the whole goal of the program seems to be going more towards remaining independent, I think maybe there will be less support on the funding side than I initially thought, but I also do want to support you guys on that. It's kind of in the works. So currently no, but secondary, even if we did have investor connections, I cannot imagine that I would take a cut of that. That sounds crazy to me. Okay, next question. Yes, accessible contracts. I'm hoping that that project will go well. What do you have for game design and dev fresher who has made 3D games on Unreal Engine with proper game mechanics? Charlie, I don't understand your question. I don't even know if that question is for me, actually. So if you could clarify that, that would be cool. Do studios maintain 100% financial and creative control over their studios and all property of the studio? Yeah. Yes. I don't tell you how to run your business. We're just a community. The partnership program it sounds like the word partner sounds business and money related, but it's not. You're your own business. You have your own stuff. Yeah. Simple as that. I'm assuming since the self-funded includes government grants, that does also include people going for things like epic mega grants are acceptable. Kyle, I would have to, it's really about like shareholders, like investors. So do they have some sort of control over you, or is it just have they given you money and said like, go for it? So I'm not super familiar with Epic's mega grants, so I would just have to look into that. But yeah, as long as like there's no, like you maintain full control over and full ownership of your studio and your project, that's kind of the thing. Does an unfunded studio mean 2+ people that have made a formal agreement to be part of a legal entity? So you don't have to be a legal entity to join the partner program. Again, it's that barrier to entry. Forming a legal company does require money, and money is therefore a barrier to entry. So no, you don't have to be a legal entity to join. It's just like, hey, you have a team of 2 people. That's another thing I want to help people with eventually at some point, hopefully somehow, is helping them become a legal entity, knowing when is the best way to do that and how to do it wherever they're located in the world, and helping with somehow the money to do that. I don't know how that would work, but I do want to help people do that. But no, you do not have to be a legal entity to join. If there's criteria around no funding, self-funding, does that mean if we later get publisher funding that changes our standing within the partner program? No. So just at the time of application, you cannot have shareholders or investors or publishers. But again, I'm not going to tell you how to run your business. If you, after you join the partner program, if you want to get publishers and investors, that's your business, and you will remain partners for sure. You will not get kicked out. I'm not going to kick you out. I want you here. What it will do, and this goes for self-funding as well, self-funded as well. Those, well, so if you are in the partner program, you can either not pay your people because you don't have the money to do so, or you can pay your people because you are self-funded somehow enough, or maybe you got investors or publishers or whatever. You have gotten money and you can pay people. So I personally do not believe, or I believe that if you can pay some people, you should pay everyone. And so if it comes to a point where you are paying your people, that means I am not going to let you advertise or recruit for volunteer positions anymore in the Discord. So you can remain a member of the partner program, but you no longer can use that service or whatever you want to call it of the opportunities channel. If you I'm not going to tell you how to run your business. If you want to go get volunteers somewhere else, that's your own issue to deal with. I don't personally believe in that, so I'm not going to let you do it in my Discord. But you can stay in the partner program for sure. Sorry, I'm talking more than I expected. Thank you for all the questions. I'm so glad this actually worked out. I'm glad I kind of just did this on the whim, and I'm glad it is working out. Okay. Where can studios find the complete terms and conditions of allying themselves with Cave Bear Games? E, you are so far ahead of me, man. We don't have that. I can send you the code of conduct if you would like, but we're not like a legal partnership, right? I'm not requiring anything from you. I'm not taking anything from you. It's just a community, really. The only reason there's an application system and that there is a barrier to entry is because I do want specific types of studios, unfunded and self-funded. And I want to make sure I personally meet with every single studio that applies, unless you're like a solo dev and I reject you immediately. So sorry, I'll get back to you on that. I meet with every studio that applies personally over video chat so that I can know who you are and you can know who I am, so that I know you're not a scam. That kind of thing. You're a real team making a real game. But there aren't like complete terms and conditions. Right now, all we have is the code of conduct, which I'm happy to send anyone who asks before they join. Any arbitration clauses present in the terms of condition? No, I don't know why we would need arbitration. Is there anything in the terms and conditions that might limit or change studio ownerships, freedom of speech, right to their financial freedom, financial decisions? No. Again, code of conduct, don't be an asshole, and treat your volunteers right, and I'll let you stay in the program. But again, it's a community. Can the terms and conditions be updated without notifying the studios who agree to them? Probably, but I don't have terms and conditions. I just have the code of conduct currently. E, you sound very professional and very serious. So if you want to talk about these with me and we can have more of a conversation about what exactly you mean and what you're looking for and what you're expecting, let's chat about it. But again, this is just a community. It's not anything legal, and we are not technically at all involved or invested in your company, if that makes sense. Not all partners are seeking funding. Yeah, Andrea, not all. We do have, and that's why I use the term volunteer, despite the fact that a lot of studios in the, not studios, there are a fair amount of people just in the industry who don't like the term volunteer. But I use the term volunteer as an umbrella term because, yeah, a lot of our studios are working on rev share, so maybe you'd call that bootstrapping or whatever. Or there's co-ops or whatever. But we do have some studios that don't seek funding, release free-to-play games, and are purely volunteer. So they're just want the experience. So umbrella term. Quick question about the code of conduct. Is that pinned somewhere in the partner channel? Yeah, Sarah. So like I said, I made the code of conduct last week. I posted it in the official resources channel in the partner category. You can see that because you're in that. You have the role. It's a new channel. You might have to go to the channels and roles button at the top of the server, top of the channel list, and make sure that you have it clicked on so that you can see it. But I just released it last week. I'm going to be sending an email out this week to all of the partners to make them aware of it. And to just send it to them because I kind of just released it low key. I'll be doing that this week. Can part-time studios also become a partner studio? Yeah, most are part-time. How is the partnership program internally structured within the Discord? We have a category, so you can see it if you're not part of the partner program. It's called the partner studios category. Some of those channels in that category are open to the public, like the opportunity channel. But mainly the main chat is the partner studios chat, is the private chat for all the partner studios. Is just a chat where people come and chat. We also have an announcements channel for specific partner event announcements. Like if I send an email, I'll copy and paste the contents of the email and tag all the partners. We have the official resources channel, which is new, where I posted the code of conduct, and I'll be posting other resources on how to navigate the Discord, how to use the Discord, but also like any resources that we have, like maybe that future contract project that we're working on, stuff like that. It's pretty simple. Yeah, NZ's sick. Moved to New Zealand. I'm moving. Clarification on my previous question. Do we have to represent ourselves as partner studios on the website to join? On the website, you have a huge list of partner studios. Oh, no, you just tell me. Well, first of all, the website is out of date. So on the partner studios tab of our Cape Bear Games website, it lists all the studios. It has like a little picture and their name in the like on the website. First of all, that's very out of date. I need to update it. It's extremely out of date. Second of all, while it's out of date in terms of I haven't updated it, all the studios on that list are in the partner program. It's just we have a lot more that I have not added. But if you don't want to be on that, you let me know. We have a partner studio that was in stealth mode for a while, and they asked me not to put them on, and I didn't put them on. Just ask. Yeah. Maybe crowdfunding. Yeah, Andrea, I've thought about that as well, you know, but again, it's hard for me personally. I'm, first of all, a very money adverse person. And so it's hard for me to ask for money from people who I know probably don't have money, because I know that I don't have money, because I am also an unfunded studio. So ideally I would like businesses that do have money to sponsor us to do cool events. How are volunteers and partners connected process-wise? So it's kind of up to the studio, right? So all that we do is we have that opportunities channel in the Discord, and that's where the partner studios go when and like a job board, they post their open positions, and it says in each posting, like, how do I apply? Like, how do you apply? And that is up to the studio. Some just ask you to DM them on LinkedIn or Discord. Some have a form for you to access, like an application. It's up to each studio. However, I definitely want to not structure. I don't want to tell people how to do their recruitment process, but I definitely want to educate on ways that I think are sustainable and equitable and good recruitment processes. So I'm probably gonna be doing some events about that in the next coming months. I want to make sure that the volunteers are taken care of, that they are happy with the process, whether they get the position or not. And I know that, you know, some of the studios are new, or some of the studios just have never done recruitment before. So I want to make sure that I am able to provide education and resources to do that well. We broke. Yeah, everyone's broke. As a volunteer, I would love a way to get feedback on portfolios and resumes. I'm a composer, sound designer, and when I get a rejection, I ask for feedback. The conversation ends. I would love to hone my craft more as well, because we all started somewhere. I completely agree with you, Mr. Butternice, which I love the name. First of all, in that recruitment education that I just talked about, that education would absolutely ask for feedback. I want to be able to I want all studios in the world to give feedback to the people that they reject. And so that was something that I would ask of the studios in this kind of education that I would be providing. Again, not going to tell someone how to run their business. That's not my business. But I would promote and advise for that for sure. Yeah. As for portfolio and resumes reviews, I'm hesitant to make a channel specifically for that in this Discord server, because I don't want to have another responsibility of like checking those. I have too much to do already. And also because there are so many other communities and resources that will help you with your portfolio and resume. And also, well, because I think you go to Amir's resources, like Amir Satvat's resources, like go to him. He has portfolio reviews, resume reviews. If you're a game designer, the Funsmith Discord, like they have portfolio reviews and resume reviews that are really in depth and good. And I think, you know, what are we going to add to that, really? I think you can get it somewhere else easy. However, if you do want this community's advice and feedback, just go to the coaching chat, which is under the game dev corner category. It is called coaching chat. We have people who have marked themselves with the mentor role or coaching role, and so they want to help. And so maybe just be like, hey, can anyone look at my portfolio and resume and give me advice? I will say though, if you are someone who has done a lot of portfolio and resume reviews, for like you have asked for and received reviews for your portfolio and your resume, and you've done this multiple times, I was just reading a post from, I think, Amir, but it could be someone else. The thing is, like, after a while, there's really not much more you can do to improve your portfolio and resume. If you've gone through those reviews several times, there's not much more to do. The issue is not your portfolio and resume, assuming you've gone through those reviews. It's just the market. It's just there are not enough jobs for people, and there just is always someone more experienced than you. Unfortunately, like it's not you. It's just the market. So if you have already done those portfolio and resume reviews several times, don't put it all on yourself, man. It's not about you. It's unfortunately just the market. Way for studios to volunteer pitch in if they end up finding financial success with the help of the partner program. Noah, I would love for studios who do find success that are a part of our partner program to give back financially. We currently don't really have any or that many of those studios, but that is a thought that has entered my mind, and I definitely do want to think about that more. I would love if and the partner program is also young, so it's like, how much did we really help? At least that's how I feel sometimes. I would love for, if our partners found success, that they would be able to donate back. That would definitely be something that I would probably ask for. Not require, but ask. Yeah. What about devs who use Kickstarter for their games? Would those studios qualify for the program as well? Yes. So Rick, that falls under the self-funded. So yeah, if you have self-funded through crowdfunding, that is, you qualify still. One of the co-founders of a studio that is a partner and basically put forums to garner interest for volunteers and invite people to projects that they're a good fit. Yeah. So, so Andrea through Small Loan Studios does her recruitment process is to put out a form to gather interest from volunteers, and if they are a good fit, she messages them. Scrolling for more. What does the hiring process within the partnership program look like? Again, it's up to each studio. I don't involve myself in that. I provide the platform for them to get their positions to the audience, the correct audience, but I'm not involved with their hiring process. Again, I would love to educate and promote what I consider ethical hiring processes, but that's kind of it. Epic Mega Grant gives studios money, but there's no strings attached. Great. Well, then that probably applies to as a grant, right? So that should fall under the the self-funded. Again, E, if you have more questions if I didn't answer any of your questions fully, like, just let me know. Okay. Did I miss something? Okay. Question, are partnerships limited to video games, or can tabletop design be accepted? Yes, TTRPG, I do personally count. Maybe I should be more clear on that. We focus on development studios. So first and foremost, your goal as a studio should be to develop games. So if you are mainly an outsourcer, you don't really qualify. But if you are a game development studio who is outsourcing in order to pay and fund for that game development, you do qualify. As for TTRPGs, I do count that in the video game space. So yes, I would accept TTRPG development studios. What are the legal requirements? What legal requirements are present for admission? There are none. It's not legal at all. Not illegal, but just like not. It's just a community. It's just a community. Oh, Charlie, you're asking for a job. This is not the studio for jobs. This is not the community for jobs, unfortunately. Our whole thing is volunteer, is unpaid stuff. So this is unfortunately not the place for paid positions. All right. General question, in case it hasn't been covered, is there a plan in place yet for networking events? My team has been actively connecting with other partner studios over the past few months on our own, which has been great, but it would be awesome to connect with more studios at specific times. Yes, I'm actively working on that, Sarah. I want those in the partner program to be aware of and know of the other studios in the partner program. Currently, one of our studios who Maglev Industries, Dave Matta, who has over 20 years of experience in the industry as part of video games history. He is running weekly like office hours, co-working things. And so that was really successful for the first week last week. We have 3 studios in our private partner studio voice channel right now. Like, you're free to pop into that whenever you want. But yes, I do want to have specific events for networking. I will be working on that soon. Yes. What is the future contract project you're working on? Oh, yeah. So I was at an event, Games Beat Summit, a couple weeks ago, and I already have a few lawyer connections in the industry. And so I've been learning a little bit about what that means. I found myself a pro bono lawyer, and so I went through my own rev share contract build with them, and I've learned that it's just really complicated, and we are very lucky to find a pro bono lawyer for this. I understand the high barrier to entry, but I also understand that contracts are really, really important for both the studio and the volunteer. At the event, I met the Video Game Bar Association, and I met several of their lawyers who are interested in helping us. So basically, we're right at the very beginning of that project. I'm just research gathering right now, where I'm asking all of our partner studios, like, hey, what's your contract situation? Do you have them? What do you have them for? Do you not have them? Why not? Stuff like that, so that I can go over those results with those lawyers, and we can determine exactly what is needed, and how we can create a way to make contracts more accessible to the studios in the program. It's, again, right at the beginning, so it's going to take a while. But the first step, or the first phase of the program, is likely going to... The first phase of the project is likely going to include a bunch of talks from lawyers, like Q&As for the partners. So we'll have some lawyer events soon, I think. Crowdfunding is really hard. Yeah. Mako, specifically Mako, if Mako is here from Dungeon Rampage, I wanted to talk to you again because I rejected you from the partner program a while ago, but I think you now qualify with our expanded stuff. So I'd love to talk to you again. I should reach out. I've been meaning to reach out to you. Any other questions? Funsmith is great. I highly recommend their community as well. So yeah, Funsmith is a game design educational community. They are fantastic. I work with them. Occasionally I run a LinkedIn networking workshop at the end of their boot camps. But it's also where I got my start. It's the first community that I joined when I joined the industry. And I love them. They are fantastic. And as a former educator, I think that their stuff is quality. Whereas a lot of other like article websites and stuff are just like not that good. They're just kind of like repeating things. They do have boot camps, like paid boot camps, but they also have like a shit ton of free articles on their website, which is gamedesign.skills.com, and their community is totally free as well, and they run play tests and stuff, so I highly recommend. But if you do want to take a boot camp, tell them I sent you. I get a little bit of money from that because I work with them, but also I love them. The market is bad right now. Yes. Yeah, if you get funded, get an accountant. Early in the partner program, I brought in an accountant and a lawyer and did a panel on, hey, what's an accountant? Why do you need one? When do you need one? I can probably do that again. Accountants are so important. I only kind of have one. Would you consider running in-person events from abroad? UK is popping off right now for events. I'm happy to help organize them. I'm not against that. It sounds really difficult. And also it just, well, A, it sounds really difficult. And then because I'm not there. And then B, this is a worldwide server and program. And so I just think like remote would just be more beneficial to everyone. But I'm not against it. We can always talk about it. You mentioned that at some point it's not your portfolio, it's the market. What is your advice for someone still looking for a junior role at that point? Besides continuing to apply, my advice is to join an indie studio on a volunteer basis. That is why that's why my studio exists. That's why this community exists. And now that I am a year on in our project and we have published a game, my people are finally getting jobs. Two of my team members got a paid contract recently, and it's the first two of our team to get any paid positions in the industry. And while they've been doing a lot on their own and on the side, I do like to think that our project helped them get to this point because now they have a published game. That's kind of the big thing is I've been hearing from recruiters and hiring managers, and the reason why Cave Bear specifically has received a lot of credit and recognition is the fact that we have completed and published a game. And so ideally your goal as a volunteer, and something that you should be talking with the partner studios that you apply to about is like, hey, when is this, like, what's the timeline for this? My goal is to get a published game out there, my name in the credits, because I want to get a job. So yeah, that's my advice, is to work on an indie project. It was mentioned before that a common form of compensation for volunteers was rev share. Wanted to ask how partner studios have usually dealt with if volunteers left midway through a project or their expected commitment. Yeah, that's another great question for the partner studios. Again, it's helpful if there are contracts, right? It's a little more dicey when there aren't contracts. The way that I have done it, and I don't require this and I don't hold this to other studios, but and also we're a little bit of an outlier. Cave Bear has had relatively low turnover compared to many of the other partners. And I try to educate on why that may be, but it is just something that happens. I was very upfront with all of the people who joined my team about what our contract would entail before we had it. And even if they left, they still are on the contract. So for me, I gave them the contract anyway and allowed them to stay on it, even though they no longer were a part of the team for one reason or another. And that is because our project was not about the money. It was always about the portfolio. And I had already told them that they were going to be on the contract. I wasn't going to take that back. So it's complicated, right? But it's something that you should ask the studios for sure. Charlie, how can I work voluntarily? I'm okay as unpaid. Can you provide the work? Charlie, this is the right server for that. You just need to go to the opportunities channel and apply to the studios that are posted there. You're no longer volunteer-based. Mako, that doesn't necessarily mean you're not qualified anymore. That's why we should talk. What conditions allowed you to consider pre-funded studios? Not sure if I missed that. Pre-funded or self-funded? So we accept self-funded. The conditions that made me change my mind was I wanted to have more people in here. And that mission that has kind of been evolving over the course of the program of I ideally want the end goal of the partner program to be a way to help people remain independent. And so I wanted to be able to welcome studios that are independent, that have successfully crowdfunded and self-funded into the program. And just not allow them to use the volunteer aspect if they are paid. But I still allow them in the program. And the thing is, the goal with the whole program is eventually I want to be able to include every indie, funded or not. We're just, very slowly ramping up. We're not gonna, let everyone in all at once without the proper supports, which is why I don't allow solos right now. Yeah. It sounds like a good move in this market might be to volunteer and get some credits under your belt. There have been massive layoffs and competition is fierce. I have one ship title under AAA leadership, BioShock devs, and it's brutal right now. Not sure what other people are seeing, but I'm thinking making some indie games and keeping playing seems to be what most are doing. Yes, I agree. Completely agree. It's that is completely what I have seen over the past year and a half of me being around and in the industry as a junior. And it's everyone has all the big people that I have talked to have said that I'm doing something correctly. And so I just want to pass that knowledge on to you. It's difficult because obviously we need jobs now and we need to get paid now. But the thing is, we're not going to find jobs now. Probably, some of us are going to get lucky. Absolutely. So keep applying. But I need water. Can you guys give me like 2 seconds to get water? Just 1 minute. Also, I just realized I think I have a meeting. Hold on, let me look if I have a meeting. Oh, I totally do. Okay. So we're gonna be really quick because I have a meeting in 2 minutes. So the question, yeah, volunteer. I think you should volunteer. I think you need to be playing the long game. If you want a career in games for the rest of your life, you need to be playing the long game right now. As for money and obviously you need money, find a way to make money that works for you. But if your goal is a career in games, I think you should be volunteering. Is there a way for creatives to negotiate keeping rights to the art they created? There definitely is a way. It might be hard. My artist does not keep their rights, but my sound designer, my composer does. And so it's up to every studio. And yes, you should be able to negotiate that with whatever studio that you're looking at. Okay. I'm glad you all liked. Okay, I think we're good. I think it's actually worked out. I think I answered every question. If you have more questions, again, that inbox channel in this category is your friend. You can always DM me, but I would love it if you put the inbox channel. That would make it really easy for me. Also, LinkedIn, feel free to message me there. Thank you for being here. There is a recording. I will put it somewhere and let you guys know. But yeah, thanks for being here. I'm so glad this was a success. And hopefully answer some questions and yeah, thanks for being here. Okay, bye everybody. Bye.